So the idea for this chapter came about from the clinical work I was doing, but also having read a book that my sister sent me by Jasvinder Sangira about about violence, about women being murdered through forced marriage was the where I started thinking about this topic.
Yes, and I think it really resonated for both of us, Doreen, because we were thinking about our clinical practice at what was then the Asian service, where we worked mostly with South Asian clients, and how the themes of Izzat and Sharam really ran through all our clinical practice, and how we could relate to each other from our own lives. And we started discussing how, for a lot of our colleagues who didn't come from South Asian or Black minority ethnic backgrounds, these concepts were quite alien, and often they couldn't distinguish a forced marriage from an arranged marriage. And I think that really inspired us to write this chapter together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the idea of forced marriage, which is steeped in violence, often I do remember us having trouble having people hear about this topic and wanting to publish this work. And I think it was kind of pushed to, well, it's marital violence, it's cultural, it's something that doesn't belong, it's other. But when we stop to think about it, it is the impact of racism.
Yes, and I was thinking how pertinent it is to today's crises that we're encountering, and thinking about COVID-19 and lockdown, and wondering how it impacts on South Asian couples, and whether there's even a higher incidence, possibly, of intimate partner violence during this difficult time. So I think, even though we wrote it a while ago, the themes are probably still really relevant to this day and age.
I'd agree, and I think there are always links and connections with other cultures. So I know in the Caribbean community there is this huge sense of shame and of putting out, which we refer to in our chapter, one of the examples of alienation and being put out of the family, what that means, being disowned actually, and that's widespread across different cultures.
Yes. So not only is our chapter relevant for this difficult time that we're all living through, but it's also relevant to other cultures and communities.
Yeah, and not just a family violence issue, which is where it's been pushed, but has an impact on everything we're seeing and doing clinically and socially.